What's up, guys, and welcome back to another all-new Injustice 2 video, and this week we'll talk a little bit about the potentially huge news out of the game this weekend that the Lord of Apocalypse himself, Darkseid, could in fact be in the game and playable as a pre-order bonus if a new leak is accurate. The leak seems to have originated with Twitter user and Twitch streamer Maximilian, and if true, the image seems to show that on the PS4's pre-order screen, Darkseid is in fact listed as a pre-order exclusive character. This hasn't been confirmed yet, and it doesn't seem like it's been picked up by any other major outlets, so take it with a grain of salt, but Darkseid being included wouldn't be 100% shocking to me personally, at least, as he's been teased and hinted about for months as a potential character involved in this sequel. Overall, in my opinion, this is really cool news. I'm actually really excited to be able to play as Darkseid himself in the game. I mean, he's had a couple of great moments in the Injustice comics series, and his appearance as a stage transition in the first game was always one of my favorite ones to try and trigger. And while that's one mystery potentially solved, in my opinion, this has just left us with way more questions than answers at the moment. But the biggest of them all has got to be this: what role, if any, will Darkseid play in the plot? Let's start at the top and say that if he's the main villain of the game, like I think a lot of people assume a villain of his status would be, it'd be more than a little bit odd to have him exist as a pre-order bonus character instead of just being a normal, regular, playable character from day one. But if we assume for the purposes of this video that he will have a role in the story, that opens up a couple of interesting options. First, and most likely in my opinion, if he's actually going to appear in the story mode at all, would be a brief cameo, probably more in line with his appearance in the Injustice comics than his stage transition Easter egg in Injustice 1. There could be a brief invasion scene of the game, or maybe something the heroes have to retrieve from Apocalypse, and while there, they could run into Darkseid and have a brief little fight scene for a character maybe like Supergirl or Wonder Woman or someone like that. On the other hand, there's a chance that he'd actually be the main villain of the game, as the villain has not yet been revealed, although I think we'll learn a little bit more about who the actual villain is when the next trailer releases in just a couple of days. I feel like the mystery surrounding the villain of the game and who could possibly fill those shoes is one of the main reasons people look at Darkseid in the first place. I mean, he's this massive villain, arguably he's the biggest universal threat in the DC universe, and so naturally people assume that if there's going to be anybody following a bloodlusting super Hitler in the first game, it has to be him, right? If that's the case, it would still be a little weird that he isn't a default stock included character, but it would make a little more sense if he was a bigger multi-stage style final boss. But even still, they'd kind of be breaking from conventional wisdom in the fighting game genre by doing so. Of course, there's always the possibility that he just won't appear in the story at all, given the fact that he's a pre-order character. As I said, it would be a little weird for him to appear in the game in a fight scene or something like that if you couldn't play as him in the default game. DLC characters are usually special little shoutouts anyways, especially in Netherrealm games. I mean, I'm pretty sure Scorpion didn't show up as the Che Guevara of Batman's Rebellion in the first game, at least I don't remember that happening. But let me know what you think of these theories down below, and whether or not you think Darkseid will have a role in the Injustice 2 story. But that's going to do it for me here, and thanks for watching the Injustice video this week. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, and subscribe for more great content every single day. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.